once we launched, I was like, I'm pitching to be on the news.
Yeah, so you can use it all over the body. So I like to use it on my chest, like I have on right now. You can use it on your cheekbones. You can use it as an eyeshadow. You can mix the glow drops with your favorite lotion. It's so easy to use. Like, however you want to use it, whatever's convenient, just go for it.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today, I'm going to actually share with you guys what I wish I knew before my brand was on TV. If you did not know, back in 2018, I launched a brand called Solux Cosmetics, and it's basically how Pivot Cosmetics started. Pivot is a rebrand and a rebirth of Solux. What I did was, right after I launched, I ended up deciding, well, I knew from jump I wanted us to be on the news. I wanted the brand to be on the news, so that was always the goal. Once we launched, I was like, I'm pitching to be on the news. I made a pitch, it worked. So once I was on the news, I realized I didn't properly prepare, if that makes sense. It didn't go bad by any means. Like, literally, even to this day, I look at it and I'm like, that's me? Like, it was just so effortless. Like, I really bodied it. Like, I killed it, okay? But there were things that I should have done on the back end, like to prepare better for it. So I made a little list, and it's not really many things. Like, I did some good things, you know, I did things really well, but there were a few things. So one thing that I wish I had done, now looking back, I wish that I had made a special offer for viewers. There's a brand called Curl Mix. I love them. I actually have never used a product of theirs ever in my life, but I love them because I learned so much from the founders and from watching what they do and how they've progressed over the years. Very smart people. They've failed many times and they learned so much from all of the times that they failed, and so I learned from all of their failures too. But this was one thing that they did right from jump. They ended up on Shark Tank. You know, they had been launched for like a while at this point, for years, and they went on Shark Tank, and I honestly have never even watched the episode. I don't know if they took the money or not, but one thing that they did do was when you go on their website, like the little pop-up that comes up, it'll say special Shark Tank offer, get 20% off your first order or something like that. So that right there alone makes a huge difference, because you're addressing the specific audience that's coming to you. You know where they're coming from and you're addressing them, and you're saying, hey, I know who you are. I know why you're here. Here's something special for you. And I love that, and I didn't do that. At the time I didn't know better, and when you know better, you do better. So next time I'm on TV, I'm doing a special offer that specifically addresses that audience that's coming to the site. At the time, what I had, it wasn't bad. So I had taken a tip from Fashion Nova. Well, not really a tip, but it was something I saw that they were doing. And Fashion Nova, normally whatever they do is effective, and it's quickly effective, if that makes sense, because they're a high turnover company, so they like for whatever they do to work really quick. So at that time, I needed to build my email list, and they were doing this thing where on the website you come on and you spin the wheel and you get a deal. I even myself, I noticed that every time I went on there, even if I didn't buy anything, I spin the wheel every time to see if I could get a different deal. So I started doing that on my site, and it was actually converting really, really well. Now, the thing about it is, I should have actually just done the other strategy, which I didn't even think of, or even, I've never even seen that before, because I had no reference of anyone that had like had a brand and then went on TV and what they did afterward, because I didn't pay attention to that, you know, which I should have. It's like, duh, like, duh. Even on the show, I could have offered something like special, like while I was on there. That brings me to my next point. I wish that I had prepared myself for multiple scenarios. So when I pitched to be on the news, the thing about being on the news is if you're going to be on there, you need to be doing something educational or something that's going to be beneficial for the audience watching. You can't just go on there and promote products, because it's not QVC. If you're going to promote a product, it needs to be worked into your segment, or you have to be somebody special. Like if Chrissy Teigen wanted to go on, you know, the LA News and talk about her cookbook, she could, because she's Chrissy Teigen. That's relevant to the audience because she's a household name. Whereas me, no one knows me, so that's not normal for them to allow me to go on there and just talk about my product, okay? So when I went on the news, I had actually pitched a whole different segment. I pitched a segment, I think, on how to get glowy skin like J-Lo, or something like celebrity, I don't know, like a celebrity glow. I don't know. It was something like that, like along those lines of like getting flawless makeup, or something about some makeup tips. And then one of the tips in the segment was supposed to be about how you can have a natural glow, and I was going to use our product, right? So I go on there. That is the segment we planned for. That is the script. It was supposed to be that way, right? Then we're live, and as we're talking, and I love Alana. Like Alana, the woman that I was actually on the news with, like that was actually the anchor at the moment, or whatever it is she's called. But anyway, she was on the news. She's like on the news every day, whatever. I did the segment with her. She is so sweet, and she really, really likes me and what I do. So she decided to kind of flip the script as we're doing it. So she starts asking me a bunch of questions about just my products and my brand, and it goes into like this whole like promotional thing for my products rather than the segment that we had planned for. So if you watch it back, you'll see like I'm trying to go through all these steps and like, okay guys, because this is what I planned for. I planned to talk about these steps. This is why I'm here. So I'm like, so the first thing you can do is da da da, and you'll see like I have other stuff on the side because it goes with the steps that I was supposed to be talking about. And these are items that have nothing to do with my makeup or my brand. It's just these steps. Like I'm trying to get through these steps. And she's asking me, okay, so show me about these other products that you have. Show me about your stuff. Show me about this. And tell us about blah, blah, blah. And I go with it, of course, because I'm on live TV, but I just didn't even plan for that scenario. And I had no idea that she was going to do that, because that's not normal. Like I said, like for a regular person to go on there and be able to share information about their products, like that's just not normal. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait, are we talking about my products more? Like we're really doing this? So I wish I had just planned for that. I should have planned an offer just in case, so I could be like, yes, and if you go on our website, you can get a glow kit, da, 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 da. Like, you know what I mean? Like I should have planned that script as well as the script I had planned. So that is one thing I will say. If you ever end up on TV, or you ever have a situation where you get to talk about your stuff, it's kind of like the basics of media training, you know, like where celebrities, when they go on TV, they're always trained to figure out ways to plug their current projects, because you can't depend on the person that is interviewing you to actually go in the direction that you think they're going to go in. And so that was a learning experience for me, because even though we had this whole script planned, she went a whole different direction than what I expected. So that was something I should have planned for. It was just like, I need to roll with the punches. And, you know, and the good thing about it was, like, at that time, I talked about those products literally every single day. So it wasn't like hard for me to figure out what to say in that moment about the products, because I knew what to say. I pitched those products every day to people. So that wasn't hard. I just wish that I had planned, you know, like a special offer or something like that, just in case, you know, we went in that direction. And I'm gonna put a link to the actual video from that segment. The last thing that I wish I had prepared for was having a better table display. I wish that that was just way better. I did not prepare for that at all, because the way that the segment went and the way that we had planned for things, we had 2 models, number one, and the models were really supposed to be where the whole, like, all the attention was supposed to be, because I was demonstrating all of the steps on the models, right? But because she flipped the script, we ended up spending more time at the table, and on the table I had a display of my products, but I had no concept of how things actually look on TV compared to real life. You know what I mean? Like, it's obviously I watch TV all the time, but you don't really know the difference until you're actually like on TV, and then you see it back and you're like, whoa. So one thing for sure was, like, the products themselves, they look so tiny on the table. Like, it was tiny, okay? And I didn't realize that they were gonna spend so much time at the table. And even if they weren't gonna spend more time at the table, I would have just done my whole display different. The display I did was something similar to what it would be like if you came to an event and you saw us, but normally it would be way more full, because half of the table would be for just product that you can just buy, you know, and then the other half is like for sampling and stuff like that. But it was just really simple, and now looking back I'm like, that was very simple and I should have done something better, and it was just kind of raggedy, and I just should have had a better table display. Like, whatever you do, if you think it looks grand to you, then it's gonna be normal on TV, because and it's just because of the setting, only because of the setting. So when you were on the news, you're in this huge room, okay? So everything happens in one big room, and they kind of shift throughout the room depending on the segment. So where we were behind, I mean, we were in front of like this huge window that goes, and you can see like outside and all this stuff, right? Just the way that we were positioned, the way everything was set up, the angle is very wide. Like, the angle that they shoot at is very wide for this segment, or for my segment anyway. So then what was on the table ended up looking really small. So whenever you're doing a news segment, even if you're doing a TV segment, probably like where you go on TV and you're showing your products or whatever, those segments now that I know and I've been on it, I can tell, like, even when I look at other TV shows like The Real or something like that, when they're showing different products, those segments tend to be wide. Like, the shots tend to be wide, and then sometimes they'll zoom in, but even then when they zoom in, you have to make sure that the whole like tight shot is even just really stylized. Like, you just have to make sure everything is really styled a certain way to look nice on camera, because the way things look in person, it comes across different on camera, and under those lights it's just a whole different thing. So I just wish that I had known how that was gonna look on camera, because I cringe every time I see it, and like the camera got zoomed in, and I was like, ugh, gross. It just looks so whack. Regardless of all of these things that I listed, I'm so proud of myself for that segment, and I'm so proud of what we were able to accomplish, and it turned out great. Like, I was just so happy with the results of being on the news, and I would love to do it again, but now I just know, I know better. You know, when you know better, you do better. And then also another thing, you have to remember that when you're on the news, a lot of the people watching are people that are stay-at-home moms, or they're older, you know, because they're able to sit there and watch the news. They have time to do that. So if you're gonna be on the news and you're gonna be doing something for the audience, you need to make sure you're communicating to them and the way that works best for them. So on the news, you may be communicating well, but that still needs to translate to your website, and you need to make sure that you're presenting things in a way that's easy for them to understand, and that kind of helps them understand how your product or your thing can fit into their life, you know, and explain how to use it. Just make it all easy, because these are people that have never heard of you, never seen you, don't know lick of nothing about you, and they just need to be able to really grasp, you know, what you're doing easy and quickly. So if you're still watching this, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to be putting out a new episode of Beauty Boss really soon. I promise. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you don't know what Beauty Boss is, get into it. Click right here so you can watch the first episode. It's a series that I do where I show how I'm transforming my brand, so make sure you watch it. Everyone's loving it so far. Get into it, binge it, watch it, tell me how you like it on Instagram. Get into it.